Alright, this one should be a little easier, because Earth Temple's not very complicated. So this dungeon, first thing you're going to do, there's a stave statue with some arrows at the beginning of the dungeon. The map's a little cut off, so you can't really see it, but first thing you're going to do, you're going to run across, you're going to come to this check. This is a check on a platform, and you need the digging mitts to go get it. There's a little dig spot mark here. This is just, it's just a chest. You can douse it, and so this is a way to tell if you need it or not. And that's useful because this is the only check in the entire dungeon that actually requires the digging mitts. Other than that, every other check you can just you don't need them. So if that chest is nothing or you have the digging mitts, cool, you get it. If it is something, then just keep note of that, and then you can come back later. But generally, having the digging mitts is a good idea to go before you go into Skyview, or not Skyview, Earth Temple. But you don't have it, it's not a big deal. Anyway, so from after that check, you're gonna move on, you're gonna cross these little platforms, you're gonna come to this annoying little section. So here, there are 3 little ropes you need to cut. Bring down this drawbridge, and I'll mark where they are. So the first 2 are easy. They're just across these little, across the little platform, you just gotta cut them down. This third one's annoying, because it's up in the air. The way you're supposed to use it, to cut it down is by using the beetle. And that works. You can also use the bow. The bow does cut these ropes. So if you have that, you can bypass the beetle and use that instead. And finally, there is another method. If you don't have either of those 2 items, you can still do Earth Temple, but you will need to do an annoying trick called Key Seed. And I'll go over it in the gameplay section, and I'll link a video of it down below of a little tutorial. But that you will have to do an annoying trick to get past it. But either way, you can get through this little section usually with no issues, because there's always a way past it. And you're gonna run up here, and now you're gonna get to the main section of the dungeon. There's little Lizalfos here, and here you're gonna hit this bomb flower, and then you're gonna get on the ball. This is where the dungeon kind of begins. And so the first thing to note about Earth Temple is that almost every single check in this dungeon is pingable from the start. If you see here, there's kind of in a circle around the main area. There's a check here, 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 and also here. All of these checks can just be doused from the start. You actually don't really need anything to douse them. They're just right there. None of them are obstructed, so you can just douse for all 4 of these checks. Now, there is an exception to this rule, which is the bomb bag check down here. You do need to actually do the mini boss here, because the chest won't spawn until you killed it. So you'll need to do the mini boss, but then you can leave. And then there's also Led's Gift, which is another check kind of tied to the mini boss, but you can just get that immediately after doing the mini boss. So basically, how this works is you get on the ball. Also remember, also I forgot to mention this, but there's a little rupee sanity check up here. Remember to get this. Get this whenever. That's a terribly drawn rupee. Also one up here, but remember to get this rupee sanity check when you can. It's above here. You need the beetle for it, but other than that, there's nothing really noteworthy about it. Just don't forget it. But anyway, so from here, you can peek all 4 of these checks. And the first thing you're gonna do whenever you get on the ball, ping these 4 checks, just look at them, and then go towards the mini boss. You're gonna be fighting the mini boss anyway. Just so go towards it. You don't need any items to do it. It's open logically, like with any item set, so you can always do it. Go get your bomb bag, go get your bomb bag check, go get your Led's Gift check, and then from here, this is where the routes get a little divergent. So there's a few things to keep note. The other rupee sanity check here is rupee and tunnel, and this check's really annoying. Otherwise, if it weren't for this check, you actually would never even need to set foot in any of these tunnels. This is the only check in those in that little tunnel area, which you had to do vanilla. But there's a way around doing the tunnel section normally. So that routing can be kind of annoying, and that kind of throws off your routing a bit. But it also is important to note that that rupee is very commonly hinted. There's a very common item or location hint that is it's something along the lines of in the neck of the dragon. And if you get that hint and it's nothing, that means that you don't need to do this check. And that's great. So we're gonna start off with the assumption that you don't need to do this check. How you're gonna route this is after you get on the ball, you go do mini boss stuff. You're gonna go back to the center platform, and remember, this is specifically if you don't need to do this check at all. It was hinted dead. You go to the center platform and save. Sorry. You're gonna go to the center platform and save. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics here. I'll do that in the gameplay section. But you're going to do an RBM called Bridge RBM, which is going to raise the center bridge and essentially allow you to get to everywhere in the dungeon, including like the end, very quickly. Now, to further explain this dungeon a little bit, how the vanilla route works is you're supposed to go around this long tunnel, and then hit in a peg on this side, and then go across and hit a peg on this side. If you see this little bridge here, there's supposed to be like two little pegs hanging. Yeah, I can. So it's supposed to look like something like this, and you need to hit them from both sides with the boulder. So, what this RBM is gonna do is it's essentially gonna push in these two pegs for you, and you can just run to the end, run straight to the boss. Now, another thing that opens up by doing this RBM is that there's normally a little hole underneath the bridge here that you can go under. This hole will open up for you if you do the RBM, and that makes it so this check here, it makes that check is actually like obtainable without doing the long lava tunnel sequence. So if the rupee is hinted dead, you're gonna immediately go back to this platform, save, do the RBM, and then you're just gonna do all of these checks, like these four. You're just gonna roll around and then just do the ones you need. So like if this check was not hinted, if it pinged to be something, go do it. If this check, then the map chest was hinted, go do it. If this check was pinged, go do it. And then at the end, roll around to this check, and then after this check is when you can just go to the boss. You can keep moving through the dungeon because at that point you're done. So there's a few things to note. I do want to quickly emphasize this check, the map chest here. So there's a few little quirks to the RBM, which again I'll go over more in the gameplay section, but in order for it to take effect, you are going to need to death warp. So a nice little like easy strat you can do in order to speed this up a little bit is after you do the RBM, run into the dungeon map room, get the chest, and then death warp out of here, because you're gonna need to there's a forced death warp somewhere. So if you need to do this check, that's a nice little time to do it. But other than that, that's pretty much all there is to know here for this route. Also remember that this boulder to get to the dungeon map chest doesn't require you have bombs or hook beetle to knock it down. You can use this bomb flower here to hit this boulder, but also do remember that, I forgot to mention. But anyway, so yeah, if you don't need to do this check, just do the RBM, get these 4 checks, and then you're off to the later part of the dungeon. And then another situation where you can do this, you don't necessarily, even if the rupee is not hinted dead, if you enter Earth Temple with the tough beetle, like which is the 4th beetle upgrade, you can actually fly the beetle all the way from this platform through the tunnels, all the way backwards, and get the rupee here just backwards. You can just fly the beetle. It only works with the tough beetle, but if you do have that, you would also do the same route where you go to the center platform and save the statue, do the RBM, and then go get the check from there. So also remember that if you have the tough beetle, you're also doing this route no matter what the rupee hint was. So now that we've gone over that, let's go over the route if you did not have this rupee hinted. Let's say you have to do the rupee, then it's simply, you're just gonna go do the lava tunnels. So one thing to note, in order to do these lava tunnels, you absolutely need one of hook beetle or bomb bag. There's no way around it, you do need them in order to break some bombable walls. If you have the hook beetle, it can be a little weird, but you can hook beetle this bomb flower here, and there's a bomb flower in one of the little caves because this is attached here. You can bomb flower from both of those and then hit this boulder to get the rupee, because the rupee's right here. But anyway, so from after doing Let's Gift, you're gonna go up, hit these bombs, get the check, and then you're just gonna keep going, because at this point you're kind of in too deep. Keep going, and then you're gonna get this check, you're gonna hit the peg in, go across, then you're just gonna do a little loop around, get the rest of the checks, and you're done. This route's a little simpler. You're not doing any back in time with this one, but it is just good to know, like, if you do need to do this check, this is the route you want to do, pretty much no matter what. The only exceptions, again, are if this check is hinted, or you have the tough beetle, in which case you're going to do the other route, which is a little bit faster. But yeah, so that's pretty much all you need to know. That was a lot. And again, I want to quickly summarize this just because it was a little confusing. But again, if you do need to get this check, just go around the lava tunnel and get the checks this way. Just go around. If you do not need the rupee, do the RBM at the statue. Go into this room, death warp out of it, and then just get these checks in a circle. And then from there, move on upwards, and we can go to the later part of the dungeon. So this part is way simpler. There's honestly nothing here because you just gotta climb. There's a trick called stutter sprinting you do to get up these slopes really easily. You don't need any items to do it. And then you can ping this check, the boss check. One thing to note is you can actually ping this boss key check from literally anywhere in the dungeon. You have to aim pretty high, but so you can actually ping this from anywhere to know if you need to do it or not. So in a situation where you're not going to beat the dungeon, you can actually still ping this check. But then you just get this check, and then you're off to the boss because that's pretty much it. Scaldera. You do need the bomb bag to kill Scaldera, logically. There's ways to do Scaldera without bomb bag, but it's complicated. I'll go over that. I'll probably link a thing in the tutorial, or in the description, I mean. Because it's a little too complicated to go over right now. But Bombless Scaldera is a way to do it. So theoretically, you actually, if you wanted to beat Earth Temple, you don't actually need any items at all. You could beat it with literally nothing. But it does make it a lot faster, and you're skipping out on some checks if you don't have any items. So generally, it's a good idea to go in here with Bomb Bag, Beetle, hopefully Digging Mitts, but if the first just is nothing, then it doesn't matter. So yeah. But that's pretty much everything just to go over on the map. So yeah, we'll switch to gameplay. Alright, well, Earth Temple in current race settings is just open, so nothing to worry about for getting in here. Yeah. So I'm actually going to be going a lot more in depth about actual like tricks because there's a lot to this stuff. When you walk in, the first thing you're going to want to do is around. This is because how this works in Skyward Sword is that when objects are off screen, they despawn. And the objects we're worried about here are actually the little platforms that like rise and fall. The cycle they're usually on is bad, and like we won't make the good cycle here. But if we turn around, we'll unload them, and when the statues when the platforms are unloaded, the cycle will stop. So we can just manipulate it so the cycle we want, we'll get it. Like we can turn around so it unloads, and we'll get the cycle we want. So we can just run backwards. You kind of need to learn the motion, like the movement here, because it's a little less obvious, but you just know where these platforms are. And then you can ping this check, something. You need to do it, it's fine. Try to keep the camera off the platform still. Go up here, and then get your check. After this is when you can turn around, and you want to get to that platform as quickly as possible. I didn't make it, but, so yeah, if you do it properly, you can make it to the platform. Keys is gonna be it. So anyway, from here, you can either, but I'm gonna do key seat here just to demonstrate it, but you can also shoot this with the bow, or you can use the beetle. Now for these little ropes in front of me, there's a strat you can do where if you try to Skyward Strike, let it launch and then roll, you can skip the cutscene of these ropes, of like the drawbridge going down. And I'll show you like what it looks like if you like normal cutscene with the other one, but yeah. So for key seat, just a really quick setup here. Stand where I'm standing. If you see like at my feet, I have little like intersection of the bricks. Stand here. When the keys gets near you, or turn around, see up, then wait for it to aggro, target it, Skyward Strike. That missed, but if it hit, pretend it hit. That's how you do key seat. The trick is pretty finicky and can be pretty difficult, so that'll take some effort, but yeah, I'll link a better tutorial in the description. This rupee sanity check up here, it's just right here. You just gotta fly up and grab it. You can get it with any beetle. So this check, like, if you don't hit it, it just looks like this, and you get this long drawbridge cutscenes. That's why you want to do the little skip. And then yeah. Here, if you have the bow, it's fastest to shoot this, and then I'd recommend side hopping into the lava, because for one, it skips the cutscene, and for two, you want damage in the zone. You actually kind of want to be at low health if you're going to do the RBM, so that's good to have. Kill this Lazaphos. You don't actually need to kill him, but you can just knock him down. So now we're on the ball. Here is kind of like the control point of the dungeon. Now we can ping everything. We can ping, there's a chest right there. If you see under that like blue archway, chest right there, it's not pinging. There's a chest right behind this bridge. I can move a little bit and you can see the actual chest. Right there, you can ping it, and here it's nothing. Here behind this rock there's a chest, you can ping it, there's nothing. And here behind this door, you can just ping it this general direction and there's again nothing. If you ping upwards like this, it's not very exact, but if you just kind of do this, you can get a general judgment of if the boss key chest is nothing. So this is a dead boss key chest. That's cool. We don't have to do those checks. So now we have that, now we're gonna go to the mini boss. You can just go over here. If you have the bomb bag, you don't have to go in. You can drop a bomb, blow it up, and go to the mini boss. I'm not actually gonna go do the mini boss because it's just finding those alphas. It's pretty simple. But then after you leave, you'll get Led's gift, which is another check. So here, this is where the routes can diverge. You either are gonna go back to the center platform and do the RBM, or you're gonna go run around the tunnels, and I'll show you both. So first thing I want to do is I want to demonstrate this RBM, because this is the hardest part. The first thing you're going to do, tubes are really nice to damage with because they're fast, so I'm going to damage on this tube. Be careful though, because you don't want to accidentally die, like it happened. I recommend damaging to 2 hearts, and then if you damage with a bomb into the lava, it will do 2 damage to you. So here you get a little extra. Alright, so there's a few things I need to go over for this back in time, just because this one's a little more complicated than the bit warp and Skyview. Do back in time here, just the normal save and reset. Now, when you get on to back in time, like thing, do not press A. What you want to do is, you need to stay on this little splash screen the entire time you're doing this RBM, at least until you get into the academy. So first things first, if you hit minus while you're in back in time, it'll bring up this little thing. It's the WeMotion Plus instructional video text. What you want to do is you need to navigate all the way to the academy while only using this to hit A. So, as you can see, if I'm on the other screen, like the splash screen, and I hit A, it's going to progress past that screen. I don't want that. I don't want to progress past that screen. So instead, what I'm going to do is use this Motion Plus menu option. I'm going to use this to use my A presses. So I'm going to hit no, and then I'm going to hold A just the entire time. Like hit no and hold this A press, and then I can sprint, and I can run off this. Now I can run towards the gate. Here, I'm gonna go here, and again, I can't press A, but if I hit minus, I can hit A on no, run over this little fence, and now I'm gonna be on the other side of the gate, and now I can enter the academy. Once again, be careful, because you cannot hit A past the screen. So again, only hit A when you're on this screen, and only hit no. You do not want to watch the Motion Plus tutorial. Finally, when you're at this door, hit minus again, clear it, and then you're good. Once you're in here, you can hit A just fine, but you cannot hit A until you enter this room. From here, you're gonna go over to this guy named Pippet. He's the guy in the yellow uniform. If he's not here, then you progress past the splash screen and the other thing, so make sure you don't do that. Talk to him. He's just gonna say some stuff, and so we need to start our file at the very end of his text. So this is a little complicated because there's a because of how text works in Rando, you have to do this a little more awkwardly. What I would do is hit A twice to get to his third text box, hit A again, and while hitting start, so on this third text box, hit A and start on the same thing, Then after that, just hold B and it'll auto finish the text for you. So hit A, hold B, and then it'll finish the text. That, if it looks something like that, then you got the RBM. To check if you got it, if you go over here, you'll get this little cutscene that'll play, and that tells you, yes, you did the RBM correctly. Now, as you can see, nothing actually happened, but if I die, which I'm bombed, the bridge will be raised fully. That cutscene is supposed to be the cutscene of the bridge raising. So now, the bridge is raised. Cool. So yeah, that RBM is very useful. You can, so you have this bridge raised. That means you don't actually have to go through the long lava tunnel. You can literally just go to the end. If you're in a go mode situation, you want to go beat the dungeon immediately, this is the go-to. You just do the RBM, and then just go to the end if you have the boss key. So from here, remember you can get this check. Again, you just gotta blow it up. You can go to the other room here, get that, get this check, and then underneath, if you can see here, this is where that little hole is, and you can go underneath it and get the final check. So, two little things. Now, if you have the beetle, if you don't have bomb badge and you have a hook beetle, which is sometimes a scenario, which does happen, there's a few ways to skip some bomb requirements using the hook beetle. So one way to do it is you can hook beetle this bomb here, and then bring this bomb back. He's gonna hit me, but you can bring this bomb and blow up that boulder. I can demonstrate. You can also like stand over here and do it. And this is a way to get to the map chest room without having bomb bag, which is nice. The next one is over here. If you want to get to the Ruby Sanity check, you can use the bomb bags over here and fly them over. Now this is really annoying. This takes a really long time, so I don't really ever recommend doing this because it's just not usually a good play. But you can fly this bomb flower all the way to where the cracked wall is. And you're gonna need to do this twice, just because usually takes 2 blow-ups. You can break down that wall, and I'm just gonna do the last one bomb to save some time. But yeah, I don't really recommend doing this, but if you do need to get this check, it's like pretty urgent, then this is fine. This is a way to do it. Now, in this room, again, there's another bomb wall you need to cut, or not cut, but like break down. Once again, go to these bomb flowers, pull out your beetle, and you can grab it from behind. And then this. Again, I'll just do the last one with the normal bomb. And then just from here, you want to kill these keys, it's really annoying. Then just the Rupee Sanity check is right through this dragon head. Fly it through. So yeah, that's Rupee Tunnel, and then if you want to finish, you just gotta go through this tunnel, and then you just gotta cut down some ropes, and then go through. So anyway, that's pretty much the last major routing thing, but I do also want to quickly show you how you can do this with the quick beetle, or the tough beetle. Because this also is a really nice strat you can do. Again, this kind of comes in handy sometimes if you have tough beetle. It's not very common you'll have tough beetle, but if you do have it and you're in this dungeon, you can literally just fly the beetle all the way across. This thing has way too much stamina. Here, also remember, because you haven't brought this down yet, you're gonna need to go like through the little tunnel with the bogo. Also, remember to have your beetle steady, because it is always moving fastest when it's like steady, like just flat, not up and down. Then yeah, you just gotta go through the dragon mouth, and you're here. You can get this check. It's kind of wild. It's a very long beetle flight, but it is a little fast. So anyway, so that's that. There's a nice little seed drop if he ever needs. Yeah, now this room is nothing special. If you just roll forward, they're gonna drop some boulders on you, but all you gotta do is just run through this little gap, and then hide in its alcove, wait for the boulders to go down, and then just back up. Now for the second part, this is where it gets a little complicated. So these boulders are gonna rain down on you, come down, but there's gonna be no gaps. And if you see here, there is a little like safe space, but it's blocked by bombs. But we're actually gonna just ignore all of this, because what we can do is if you just sprint normally, right? Nice. When you're sprinting normally, if you just tap A, you'll like do like a little sprint. You won't use a lot of stamina. You'll kind of just move like this. And as you can see, I'm not using a lot of stamina, but I'm also not moving very fast. So what we can do is, because this is a slope, when we try and walk up normally, you would just fall. But if we do this little tap sprinting, we won't fall, but we also won't use a lot of stamina. So by knocking down these, if we trigger these boulders to fall down, hide in this little like cubby here, because there's like a little spot you can just stand. You can get past these boulders and then just do that tap sprinting, it's called stutter sprinting, all the way up. And these won't bring down any rocks. You can just do this and you can barely have enough stamina to make it to the top. You're here. You just skip the entire puzzle. That's really easy, so try that out. And then from here, you just gotta go up and get the boss key chest. It's right up there. Again, you can ping this from pretty much anywhere, so here I know it's nothing, so I can just move on. The lava thing is gone, so you can just go beat the dungeon. And so yeah, that is pretty much everything. I'll have Scaldera videos linked. Scaldera is really complicated, I don't really want to get into it, so if you want to go look at that, check the description. But other than that, that is pretty much all Earth Temple has to say. It's actually fairly simple. So yeah, yeah, thanks for watching.